and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today I'm going to talk to you through some health results on a health screening that I had. I mentioned this to you on a couple of videos ago, I think. I can't remember when, maybe it was a catch-up video, that I went and had a health screen that my workplace paid for everybody. And I wanted to talk to you a bit about the process. I'm going to give you high level, just sort of little bits of findings of the results. I'm obviously not going to go into too details because it's personal, but I just want to talk to you about it and just recommend this health screening in this company to you because I had such a good experience, and I spoke to some of my colleagues and they said they also had really good experience as well, so I wanted to share that with you today. So this all fits into my kind of goal to get super healthy and well, just to feel my best basically, and it's going really well. I feel really good, and I wanted to talk to you a bit about how information is really key when you're going through your own health journeys, or health, I hate that word journey actually, your own health path, I don't know what else to call it, but information is really key, just so you know your baseline of where you're working with and what you're working towards, because sometimes you might think that your goal is, I want to lose 100 pounds and I want to weigh, I don't know, 120 pounds, but actually the reality is that maybe actually 120 is just a number you've plucked out of thin air, and actually it might be 150 pounds because you're going to find out you've got a shed load of muscle on you, and that weight's going to look different on you as it looks somebody else, and all the other things. So it's good to have a baseline of where you're starting from, and it also helps with progress. And I've done this before with things like DEXA scans, which are expensive and you have to maintain, but they are super great as well because they tell you exactly your muscle, bone, fat, and all the density and all that kind of thing, and it shows that change in your body. It's great, and it shows you like the internal visceral fat and all that kind of thing, which is similar to what I did with the Randox. So they do every man and every woman health screenings. They do lots of different health screenings as well, and they do kind of vaccinations, travel vaccinations, all that kind of stuff, all kind of testing and all that kind of thing too. I went there for an every woman test, and I went to a local centre. They are all over the UK, and I think this is a global company because the website implies that it's a global company. And I booked my appointment, and it cost £295, and it's well worth it, to be honest. And £295 sounds expensive, but if you are going to your local GP, getting blood tests for things is super difficult, and very often they don't test, and the markers aren't the same, and they don't test things like for your thyroid. They don't do the full panel test for your thyroid, for example, unless there are a certain amount of symptoms, they won't test it, or they don't go far enough in their testing. And sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and you have to do this yourself. I'm very lucky that my workplace decided to pay for it for us, but it is something that I have paid for in the past myself with Bupa. This is like 10 times better than Bupa, really. Like, I don't actually know what the fuss is about Bupa, other than people can go to, I think people like the fact that you can go to London Bridge Hospital, which is the most expensive hospital in London, I think, and it's on one of their plans, but you can do with a lot of health insurers. And I don't know what the fuss is about Bupa. I've never found it that great, and I didn't find the facility that I was in that great, or anything like that. Whereas these, it was like a setup was there, and it was clean, and the employee that helped me was lovely, and we were able to have kind of open discussions about lots of different things and lots of different topics, some controversial topics, without being offended by each other's opinions. It was just a really nice experience, and didn't take very long at all. I think it took longer because we just kept talking and we were just chatting about life. So when you get there, they before you go there, you choose which test you want, and you do a questionnaire, and it's just like a generic kind of questionnaire where you talk about why you're there, any potential reasons why if you're not feeling very well, and this is what's prompted the test, so what's prompted you to get there, basically be there. So filled that out, didn't take very long, took about 10 minutes, and you confirm things like your height, your current weight, all that kind of thing, that stuff too. When you get there, you see your nurse, and she also, or he, she, whoever is there, they also go through those details with you too. So you go through that again, anything that you've remembered or anything that might be small, they'll add that as well, because even the smallest things might trigger, think, okay, let's just look into this a bit further. So you provide them with a urine sample whilst you're there, and then they weigh you, and then you get the electrodes as well whilst you're on the scale, so they can do kind of body composition as well. So they don't do bone density, you need a DEXA scan for that, but it will tell you your muscle fat ratio, and it will tell you if you've got any visceral fat, which is the dangerous fat that sits around your arteries, and what the percentage is there. And because there is such thing, but you may have heard, may not, or may have heard of skinny fat, where people look slim, seemingly very slim, but have a lot of fat sitting around their organs, like their liver, kidneys, heart, that kind of thing, which is dangerous, and that's the fat you want to remove and you want to target as well. So it's changing. So some people can seemingly eat whatever they want and stay slim, but they might have fat around those organs, which you want to target as well. So that's another great thing about these kind of tests, because it tells you that if you're not feeling quite well or feeling yourself, that might be one of the reasons why too. So it's good to get these kind of full panel checks when you can, if you can get the resource to do it. So had that done, had blood work done, and she just seemed like she took like 5 or 6 vials of blood whilst we're chatting. And I give blood anyway, I'm a blood donor, so it didn't faze me at all. But they put you on this really weird, like kind of tippy, squeezy chair. It's very, very comfortable. You could fall asleep on it. Yeah, so I had that done as well, and then that was it. So meeting doesn't take very long. There's no long discussion about it in that space. They're not giving you advice or anything there. She's literally this, or your nurse practitioner is just literally taking your bloods and taking kind of the stuff for the labs. About 2-3 days later, which is super quick, you get your results through, and these are the results you get. You get it on via email, and you get them nicely printed out in these books, and I absolutely love it. This is the detailed one, so this one is, how many pages? This is 41 pages, 42 pages, and then you get like the key findings for the quick read. And the reason why you have your quick read, key findings, and the big thick book is because as part of this as well, you get a scientific review. So what you can do is you can pay more for a GP to go through these results with you, or you can just have, as part of the package, a scientific review. So you book an appointment maybe when the results come 3 or 4 days later, or a week later, where somebody will spend about half an hour, 45 minutes with you on the phone, going through results, asking you how you feel about certain parts of the results as well. Like, does this ring true to you? What have you done around this? Giving you some like small bits of advice here and there. The reason why the Every Man and Every Woman test is, for me, one of the best is because, unlike Bupa, who want you to do a follow-up and pay, and their test is about £200. The last time I did it, and that was about 4 years ago, because it was pre-pandemic. These, including the 295, is another test where you do the whole thing again. So this literally gives you a baseline, and it gives you that motivation to say, I don't want to see these results in 6 months' time. What am I going to do so when I have these results do this test again in 6 months, I'm looking in a different state. I've improved, I've got better, and I'm getting my fitness and my happiness, all that kind of thing is improving, which is what I really love about this test, that in 6 months a second test is included, and I think that's fantastic, and they contact you in 6 months. So in July, end of July-ish, they will contact me about these results. I'll go in for a blood test and see where there have been improvements, where I've supplemented, see if there's been improvements, because it also tells you that in 6 months' time, if I've been supplementing in certain areas where I've had deficiencies, if it's not working, is there a gut issue, is there something going on, why am I not being absorbed, etc, etc, etc. So let me tell you a little bit about my test results and what it looks like, and I'm going to try and do this as best without giving too much information, because as you can imagine, it is personal. So where I can show you what some pages look like, where it feels a bit more generic, I will show you those. So what they do is they have all these markers. So I'll show you this page, this one will be interesting. So health status, and it gives you kind of these markers of what's in status and what's not, and it tells me like 75 are in the green range, which is great, 1 amber, which is something I need to be aware of, so keep a track of, and 24% is out of range, where we need to do a deeper dive, either speak with my GP, get further appointments, or just talk about it with the scientific review, and she'll give me some advice on, okay, this is what you need to do around these places. And then it talks about your health performance, and it tells me that I think if you've got anything more than I think it's like, she said it was like 22 or 23% or something, and I was just over. It means that they've highlighted some abnormalities, say the word, put my teeth in, that require medical intervention or further investigation. So this is what they've done here, and this is what I'm down to action, and we went through that. So you can open that and think, oh my gosh, I need medical intervention, but actually you go through it and it starts to make sense. Talks about exercise guide at the beginning, so that's quite generic stuff. Nutritional guide at the beginning, it gives you my name, how long I fasted for. So before this, it's a fasted blood test. So before this, I had fasted for 13 hours and 20 minutes, and it gives you, basically, this is the contents. So let me show you for the contents of what it tells you about. So your results, personal measurements, full blood count, iron status, heart health, diabetes health, metabolic syndrome, kidney health, urinalysis, liver health, pancreatic health, digestive health, nutritional health, muscle and joint health, bone health, allergy evaluation, infection and inflammation, and thyroid health. So for £295, you're getting, female hormone health, sorry, because it is every woman one I did, and the results for your doctor to look at, so do you want to follow it up? And I opted for this all to go to my doctor as well, so it's on my file. But that is a really comprehensive test, and all this information that tells you that all this fantastic stuff about your body and where you are now, to have all of that and just have a marker point, a baseline, is fantastic, and that's pretty intensive testing. So I'm going to go through some of the key findings that they found, but not too much detail, and just show you some of the pages. Let's look at this page, because this is not too controversial, and it's just about like full blood count and things. So let me just show you an example of what it says. So most of it is in the green, as you can see here. So what it has flagged to me though is that I am slightly low on iron, and something that I need to have a look at as well. So I can either flag it and get supplements and see how that goes. Not slightly low, it's actually said that I'm anemic. So that's something that I've always suspected as well, because the last 2 times I've tried to give blood, because I do give blood regularly, I always have done for quite some time now. The last 2 times they've said that my iron was low, and when you in the UK, when you get tested 3 times and your iron is low, you get taken off the register and you can't give blood anymore. So they even said to me, go and get that figured out, speak to your GP, and then come back once you've sorted that out, because I really don't want to not have the opportunity to give blood. So that's great that they've confirmed something to me. That I also got tested in the GP when I asked them about it, and the GP said, oh, it's nothing, it's not worth it. Here, they've clearly said that it is worth it, and I've started supplementing, and it's helped massively. Sorry, my battery ran out. As I was saying, it's helped massively supplementing with iron. So I take a liquid with vitamin C. I've started doing tonic health as well, the vitamin C challenge, which I'm really enjoying because it's got no sugar in. And since I had this test done, which was quite a few weeks ago now, I'm feeling so much better having taken the iron. I'm not so tired anymore, I'm sleeping better, and I'm making sure that my vitamin D is also up as well, because that was also something that was slightly low. I live in the UK, and I've had bouts of really low vitamin D, and because of that I will probably have to supplement that always. And I think most people in the UK always have to supplement vitamin D in the winter anyway, just because of our climate. So I'm really kind of so glad that I've had this test done. For example, here it tells you like your liver health and all the scoring there. Mine's all in green, so I've got good liver and pancreatic health. So all that kind of stuff, it gives you real markers, and I'm so glad and so lucky that I've been able to get this done through my workplace, because it is an expense, but healthcare in the UK, it's sometimes can be a lottery. I'm very lucky where I live, our GP surgery, and I haven't really had any complaints. They're very good there, but it just takes more convincing for tests to be done, and it's because there isn't money within our system at the moment. So being able to get this done and having like a baseline of results has been fantastic for me. The other part of it that was really funny is that the body composition analyzer part. And she said to me, just so you know, like the average muscle mass for somebody at your age is around, she said it's around 42 kilos, and mine was at 61.8. So she says that I've got significantly more muscle. And so she was asking me about my training regime, and I said to her, look, I have a dance background. Movement's been a part of my life since I was 2, and then I got into kind of lifting around the age of 21. I'm almost 40, so it's been a long time of muscle memory, good bone health, good bone structure, because I had my DEXA scan as well, and I've got good bone health as well from that, and also hereditary, ethnicity, all that comes into it. A lot of these tests will probably be based on white males and or white females, and obviously ethnicity will have a part to play in it, whether you're Asian, whether you're black, whether you're white, you know, wherever you're from, it's going to play a different mix up on how your body naturally falls just from ethnicity. So I carry more muscle, which is great, because muscle into older age, when you're getting older, is fantastic. You want to make sure you have your muscle mass there, and so I just want to make sure I retain that through the years, because you can lose it if you're silly with diet or you don't work out and things. Although you have muscle memory, you want to keep that up because it's good. And then we talked about the visceral fat, which was fine. And we talked about what my goals are about reducing fat and bringing down my levels of fat and that kind of thing, and what my plan is over the next 6 months. It's interesting because when she did the sample, she said that I had ketones in my urine, which is bound to happen, because I did state, because on the questionnaire it tells you what type of diet you have, whether it's vegan, varied, whether it's a keto, low carb, that kind of thing. So that wasn't unexpected, and that flagged as well that I had that in my urine as well. And then this key findings just really gives you kind of just a really synopsis of the big page. So if you want to go back and remember, okay, what did it say about that? So my key findings were early signs of iron deficiency, so which is what I knew, that I kind of knew down, like deep down. My cardiovascular score indicates low risk, which is fantastic. That I had some inflammatory markers, which is something that I've always flagged. I cannot wait to let you know what this is like in July. In July, I might be more candid, so I can have a side-by-side and show you, okay, this is actually what this one said, and this is where it is now, on some of the markings that are red, and some of the ones that are a bit more personal. I might do a side-by-side at the end of July and show you the improvements that have been made based on the fact that I now have the knowledge, because sometimes you can work out and you can do things, and actually it's not even where the problem is. It's good to know what the foundation is, right, before you start fixing. So I hope you've really enjoyed this. I'm going to leave a discount code for those of you who do decide to go and do this. I have not been paid or not affiliated with this company at all. The first time I heard about it was through a colleague at work who mentioned to me. Him mentioning it to me, I wouldn't have got this done, and I'm so grateful that he did. And since having that done, I've had no affiliation with it. The only reason why I've got this code is because the lovely lady, who was called Samantha, who saw me and took my test, said if there's anybody that you know that needs it done, and I do have a friend who I've recommended to have it done, they can use this code to get 10% off. So if you want to get 10% off as well, you can use her code. I'll add it below. I hope you found this video interesting. Have you ever had any health screenings and things before? Let me know how it goes. I know in the US it's quite common for people to have health screenings and checks and things along the way, and it's part of your insurance. So it'd be really good to let us know how you've used that data to improve your health, rather than just sitting there. It's great to have the screening, but how have you actively used it as a tool to improve your health would be fantastic if you shared below. And I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all feeling healthy and feeling strong, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.